Hello and welcome to our new edition of Right of Center show here in Grundy County. This, I believe, is our 4th year doing this show where we educate and inform the viewers on a little bit of our right of center politics here in Grundy County. We've got with us a great esteemed panel of guests. It's our Senate District Candidate 16 candidates that are coming up for our August 2nd election. And we also have our local candidates as our panel here who are running in our Grundy County election. We've got Wayne Harris running for County Commission District 1 and Ted Smith running for County Commission District 3. And my name is Iva Michelle Russell, and I'm running for Property Assessor of Grundy County. Well, let's go right to the candidates. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot for them to say. So we're going to start into the question. Thank you for joining us today. Wayne Harris, I'm going to start with you.
Thank you very much, all of you, for listening and watching. And we have with us today 4 candidates: Janice Bowling, Eric Chance, Rod McClennan, and Ron Stoltzfus. And at this time, I'd like to begin with Janice. And the first question in order we'd like for each one of the candidates to ask is, why are you running for this office? Janice.
Thank you, and it's good to be here in Grundy County again. I want to let you know that as I'm traveling around, the thing that we're all realizing is that good government is not a spectator sport. We each have a sacred duty to do what we can do to make certain that our values are represented in Nashville, Tennessee. When I'm talking to the people out in Senate District 16, Grundy County, Marion, Warren, Franklin, Van Buren, Coffee, Sequatchie, all of the people in these counties all have one common denominator. We are flag-waving, God-fearing, freedom-loving people. I've worked as an alderman in Tullahoma for 15 years. I worked for Van Hillary as the district director in his congressional office. I've served in many capacities on many boards in this area to already serve the people. So the reason that I'm running is because I bring to the table relationships that I've built over many years in doing the right thing, the right way, for the right reason, in representing the true values of this conservative part of Tennessee. I would appreciate your prayers, your support, and your vote. Thank you.
Very nice. The next candidate that we have will be Eric Chance. Same question for you, Eric. Why are you running for this office?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for watching this evening, and I'd like to thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to have this forum to speak in. That's a really good question, and one that any candidate should be able to answer precisely and succinctly. I'm running for a multitude of different reasons, but the primary reason I'm running is because I want to be an employee of the people. I understand that in order to have good, effective government, you have to have good, strong, conservative leadership. Now, I've demonstrated that over the past several years as a county commissioner in Coffee County. I fought against wheel taxes, I fought against property taxes, and I fought against wasteful spending. I believe that's what we need, is someone who understands that in order to be a representative of the people, that you are an employee of the people. So I humbly ask everybody here tonight, or everybody who's watching, to not only consider myself as an employee, but to consider voting for me at the ballot box. We've got a lot of large challenges we need to face when it comes to jobs, economy, and things that are going on in our schools. And what we need is that strong conservative leader that has a proven track record of producing results as a good representative in Nashville. And with that, I'd like to thank everyone and ask you for your vote as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Our next candidate for the state Senate office is Rod McClennan. And Rod, if you would please tell our audience, why are you running for this office?
Well, actually, my name's Rod McClellan.
I'm sorry, Rod.
That's okay. My name's Rod McClellan, and there's several reasons I'm running for this office. The biggest being that I tutor in an elementary school in Warren County, and I am sick and tired of kids coming in and having a cell phone in their hand and telling the teacher, Mom and Daddy got arrested last night, and I spent all night in the jail, and I didn't get any sleep, and I don't know where I'm sleeping tonight until somebody calls. I'm sick and tired of that. I'm tired of kids coming in and whispering in my ear, my mama just went to jail, my daddy just went to jail. I've had enough of it. Meth is the problem. We need to be very specific on what we're going to do with meth. We are on track in Tennessee to have 2,400. That's 2,400 meth lab incidences here in Tennessee this year. The state of Oregon is on track to have 21. We have to change and do what Oregon did, and all they did was make pseudoephedrine a prescription-only drug. That's all they did. So we're on track to have 2,400. They're on track to have 21. Last year, the state legislature was going to make pseudoephedrine a prescription-only drug. Well, the pharmaceutical industry and brought their high-powered lobbyists in, and they spent $7 million. That has cost the state of Tennessee $844 million. I don't consider that a very good trade. So I'm going to work very hard to do that. The next, to get it pseudoephedrine prescription only. The next thing that I hear out in the counties, in the district, is jobs. I have a unique background in that I know how to get jobs here. I know how to talk to business owners, and I know how to get jobs here. It's a very simple thing, but it's very complicated also at the same time to get them actually here. Is it going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. And we need to work on education, and I have some very specific plans for education. I want to thank everybody for being here or watching tonight, and I want to ask for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Rod. I really appreciate your thoughts and comments as well. Ron Stoltzfus is our next candidate for State Senate, and we offer Ron the same question. Why are you running for the State Senate office?
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm Ron Stoltzfus, running for State Senate seat. And there are 33 men and women in the state of Tennessee that have the privilege to sit in the Senate chamber of Tennessee. And we have the opportunity to make laws that affect your lives. And I wanted to bring out something that we don't often think about. And folks, the reality is that the quality of your government depends directly on the quality of the folks that you elect. And so in asking for your vote, we're all here tonight presenting our views to you so that you can make a choice. We still have that freedom in America to make that choice to vote. The first governor of Pennsylvania, William Penn, said something that I think we need to really remember. He said, governments like clocks go from the motion men give them. It said, as governments are made and moved by men, so by them they are ruined too. He said, therefore, it make the men bad, and he said the government cannot be good. But if you make the men good, he said the government will never be bad. He said, I know some say, let us have good laws, and no matter for the men who keep them. But he said, consider this. Although good laws do well, good men do better. For good laws may lack good men, but good men will never lack good laws, nor will they allow bad ones. And folks, what we need to do is take a look at who we're electing. We need to take a look at our government, and it's you, the people. You're the one who decides. You are the folks who decide what kind of government you have. So I'm asking for your vote, early voting or August 2nd. Thank you, and God bless you.
Well, that's a pretty impressive start out. We're going to go right into the next question. We've got Ted Smith with that.
Janice, you're up. Question is, what are the top 3 issues to you in this election?
Thank you. In traveling these 7 counties, and I've been doing that on a daily basis, working 12 hours at least a day, 6 days a week, I've been listening to the people to see what their issues are, because I'm not in this about me, I'm in this about serving the people. And the people are telling me, yes, jobs are important, and I'm glad to say that I am against a state income tax. I'm against state regulations, the over-preponderance of environmental regulations and things that keep people from using their own property the way that they know that they could and should. I'm against heavy regulations. I'm against the state income tax. I'm against increased taxation. Those are all well and good. Those will help us get more jobs in the state of Tennessee by being a fiscal conservative. But I'm proud to tell you that the people of Senate District 16 are equally, if not more, concerned about their values this year. So they're concerned that our God-given values that are protected by the Constitution of the state of Tennessee and the Constitution of the United States of America are the things that they want to see protected. I am, just like the people of this Senate district, against gay marriages. I am pro-life from conception. I am a pistol-packing mama, so I believe in our Second Amendment rights. I believe those same things that the people of this Senate district are believing and telling me as I go out and listen to them. I want to serve you. I want to take your values and be your strong voice. Having worked in state government, by working from the federal level and from the city level, I know what government should do, and I know what government should not do. The worst sentence in the American language, I believe, the English language, is "I'm from the government and I'm here to help." Folks, grab your pocketbook and run for the door. We need less government, lower taxes, fewer regulations, but more importantly, we need our God-given values that our Constitution, our God-given rights that our Constitution protects, to be the center stone of what we do in Nashville, Tennessee. When you become a state senator, you take an oath of office. That oath is to protect the U.S. Constitution and the Tennessee Constitution. I have read both of those constitutions. I know why I want to go to Nashville. I know what I want to do to serve you, but I do need your help, your prayers, your support, and your vote. Thank you.
Eric Chance? Same question. What are the top 3 issues to you in this campaign?
That's a complex question as well, like Rod was saying a little while ago. But the 3 most important issues that I've come across while meeting with the people throughout Senate District 16 is that as Tennesseans, we all believe in smaller government, lower taxes, Second Amendment gun rights, and the sanctity of life. But beyond that, all the people I've spoken to, they're really concerned about jobs, economic development, and education. Now, those 3 things may sound separate, but really they're very, very tightly intertwined. In order to create jobs, we have to understand and appreciate the fact that the small business is the lifeblood. It's the heartbeat of our economy. And in order to really stimulate more jobs and better jobs, we have to make sure that we take those governmental regulations and a lot of the red tape that's tied to those regulations and take them off and free our small businesses to give them the ability to put more money back into the business that they've invested so much time and effort already into. Give them the ability, the opportunity to create those jobs that help drive our economy. But at the same time, what is the purpose of having all these great jobs if we don't have an education system that's good enough to keep up with it? Right now, here in Grundy County, we're about 9.5% unemployment. The district average is right about 8%. When we look at the education system, we have to make sure that we're producing an education system or producing a child that comes out of the system that is able to function in the next generation of jobs. We've been working in that direction, but we haven't made it there yet. So what we need to do, and what I believe we need to do, is we need to take the shackles off of our teachers, allow them to create critical thinking individuals rather than just someone who can take a test. A lot of our teachers, that's what they teach to. It's not because they want to, but it's because what they're required to do. We also need to look at our teachers and say, you know what, we've got a lot of good ones. We've also got some bad ones. And rather than rewarding the mediocrity in teaching, we need to reward those teachers who excel at what they do. Those teachers who come in, really work hard, and create that student that can not only just survive, but thrive in the next generation. So as a sum total, all 3 of those issues are tightly intertwined, like I said a moment ago, and we have to address them all at one time. But in order to, we have to have someone who can represent us and understand what the real problems are, identify those issues, and create solutions to them. And I think that if we do that, then we'll be able to see an economic explosion, the betterment of everybody, because at the end of the day, we all want better jobs, we all want a better education for our children, and we all want a better future for tomorrow. So with that, I'd like to thank you again and hope everybody has a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rod, what are the top 3 issues to you in this campaign?
Well, I've talked about meth. I don't know who everybody's been talking to, but I talk to a lot of people, and they're very concerned about meth. But let's talk about education for a minute. What have we gotten from the Tennessee Department of Education for the last 50 years? For 47 of those years, they fooled us into thinking our kids were doing great. Then in 2009, the truth came. They can't hide it anymore. Our kids are our schools are the 48th worst in the country. That is not anything to brag about. And so far, from what I see in the Tennessee Department of Education, is they are satisfied with small increases in scores for these kids. I don't want small increases. I want huge increases, because if we have small increases, every other state has small increases. So where do we go from there? We're still 48th worst. I don't want to stay there. I want to get in the middle. So how are we going to do that? Here's what I propose. Since the Department of Education has done absolutely nothing for us for 50 years, I propose that we take half their budget, half of it. Then we take all the money we've been spending on pre-K, and we take all that money and put it together, and we hire another certified teacher for every classroom from K through 3. Because I'm telling you, the statistics show us that if we don't have a child completely up to grade by the end of 3rd grade, we've lost that child. They get further and further and further behind, so when they're in high school, they don't care. As an example of that, I talked to an English teacher, a 12th grade English teacher in Warren County. Guess what she's teaching the kids in 12th grade English? She's teaching them how to read at above the 2nd grade level. Now that's ridiculous. We can't turn out kids like that and expect industry to come to our area, to District 16. So I'm proposing that we take all that money and we put another certified teacher in every classroom from K through 3, so that when they leave K, or 3rd grade, they know everything they're supposed to know. Now, we don't have to build any more buildings. All we have to do is put a divider in. And if we put a divider in, that should give every teacher a pupil-to-teacher ratio of no more than 10 or 12 to 1. That means a teacher can find the answer to a child's problem quickly when a child is having trouble. We can't keep turning kids out with the education that they're getting now. That has to change. So that's my solution to it. Jobs, listen, I know how to bring jobs here. My experience and my background is property and casualty insurance agent. I went out to businesses. I'm going to mail 10 letters a week to these businesses in Florida and California and tell them when they're tired of hurricanes and they're tired of earthquakes, then they should look at Tennessee. 4 days after the letter goes out, I'm going to pick up the phone and call them. That's what I did in the insurance business. I was very successful at it. So that's what I'm going to do. We got to stop saying, change the regulations, loosen the regulations. You know, we got to stop saying that. We got to start doing something concrete. And that's what I'm going to do. If you will send me to the state senate, that's what I'm going to do. Thank you very much.
Ron, what are the top 3 issues to you in this campaign?
Well, folks, in order for you to understand the issues that I'm concerned about, you have to understand a few things first. And one of the things is I believe that every wrong thing that we deal with, every issue that we deal with has a moral, it comes from a moral decline. Back in 1963, we took prayer out of school. In 62 and 63, we took prayer and Bible reading out of our schools. When we did that, we took God out of our system, and we ended up with a system that has declined. You can look at statistics. The system has gone downhill every year since that time. So you need to understand something first, that the issues that I'm concerned about have moral stems to them. I am a Christian. I am not ashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. My foundation is in moral values. And so the top issue that I'm concerned about, not just in Tennessee, but in our nation, is the pro-life issue. Since 1973, we have had 54 million abortions in America. That's a whole generation that we've killed off. We've killed off children because we've done it for our own pleasure. And so what we need to do, in Tennessee, there's an amendment that's going to be on the ballot in 2014, and that amendment on the ballot in 2014 is a simple amendment that just simply says that in Tennessee, our Constitution is neutral. The court system has passed they've made a ruling that our court system made a ruling that the Constitution is not neutral, but that the Constitution says that abortion is accepted and legal in Tennessee, according to the Constitution. And so what we need to do, we need to get this amendment on the ballot in 2014. We need to pass this amendment so that we can get abortion neutralized in Tennessee, that the Constitution does not say yay or nay. That'll only get us back to ground zero to where we can start moving forward again. There's another issue that is very, very deep in my heart, and it concerns me much, and most folks aren't willing to talk about this, but I am. And that is the issue with radical Islam. Radical Islam is growing at a high rate of speed in our district. It's growing at a high rate of speed in Tennessee. Most people are afraid to touch the issue. It's kind of a scary issue. But let me tell you something, folks. If we don't deal with radical Islam in the very short future, we are going to be in trouble. There are training camps right now in Tennessee. There are places where they are grooming and raising up radical Islamic terrorists to terrorize Tennessee. And I'm telling you, if we let that happen, we're going to be sorry about it. That's why we have, the third thing that's really on my mind that I'm concerned about is, and all the other things I believe tie into this, but is our Second Amendment rights. Folks, the federal government is working on removing your Second Amendment rights. Your right to keep and bear arms should not be infringed under any circumstance. That is a God-given right. It's a right given to us by our country, by our Constitution, by the amendments. The Second Amendment guarantees you the right to keep and bear arms so that you can protect yourself. That is what's kept our nation free. That's what's kept our state free. And folks, we need to face up to some very real issues in Tennessee. And if we don't face those issues, we're going to find ourselves in trouble in the very near future. If elected to Nashville to go to the Senate, I would count it a privilege, and I would count it a privilege to go and not just go to legislate, but go to fight for the people. I am concerned about what you're concerned about. I am concerned about going to Nashville to stand there in place of you so that I can go there to be a voice for you. If you'll give me that opportunity, I promise you I will do my best to honor God in everything I do and to stand up for the rights of the people. Thank you and good night.
Wow, excellent. And we got ahead of schedule. I'm pretty impressed, y'all. That's wonderful. We're going to do one last question before we do a wrap-up, if y'all don't mind. This is a state and federal primary. So our citizens in Grundy County need to make a decision whether they're going to pull a Republican primary ballot or a Democrat primary ballot. Now, historically, they have pulled a Democrat ballot. Give me a short 30-second, why in the world should they pull a Republican ballot this time around? Janice, I'm going to start with you.
Michelle, I think it's quite simple to say why they should pull a Republican ballot this time, because my grandpa and their grandpa probably could have been best friends. We're going to vote Grandpa's values, and Grandpa's values trump his party any day of the week. So I'm asking people to look at my cards, look at what I stand for. Vote Grandpa's values, vote what he bled and died for, vote for what people have given us that we need to give to our children and our grandchildren: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank you.
Excellent. We're going to move to Eric. Same question.
Well, I think that one of the main reasons to pull the R this time is that the people I speak with and meet with on a daily basis who identify themselves as Democrats will a lot of times say, well, I believe a lot of the same things you believe: smaller government, less taxes, protecting the innocent unborn. It's not the Democratic Party of past is not what it is today. So I think that what we need to do is as a whole, look at the values, look at those core conservative values, and ask yourself, do those line up with what you believe? And if they do, don't be ashamed and don't be hesitant to pull that button on an R, because we do stand for those things. All of us up here believe in those things, and I think that's the right thing to do, is to look at those core conservative values and take it from there. Thanks.
Excellent. All right, we're going to move on to Rod.
Eric and Janice talked about core values. Well, let me tell you a little bit about my life before I was an insurance agent. I was a Cobra gunship helicopter pilot in Vietnam. And of all the things that I did and did very well was kill people. And if you don't think that killing people, such as abortion, is going to harm you, wait 30 years. you're going to say to yourself, why did I do that? And I guarantee you, you will do it. You can't take another human life without it destroying you. It can't be done. So what I'm telling you is that my core values are just like everybody else. But the Democrats, as I understand it, believe in abortion. And we can't be doing that. We, like Ron said, we've killed a lot of people. And when you have an abortion, that is not a very simple, sanitary thing that you do. When you have an abortion, they suck the brains out of the kid first, and then they take the kid out. That's not very sanitary. So if you young ladies think that you're going to have an abortion and you're never going to be bothered by it, you are absolutely wrong. So look at our core values. All four of us have the same core values as far as abortion goes. So think about it before you do it. I would appreciate your vote between now and July 28th and on August 2nd. Thank you.
And that means we'll leave Ron with bat and cleanup. Bring us home.
Folks, we live in the center of the Bible Belt in America. Tennessee is a Bible Belt. In fact, Tennessee is considered the buckle of the Bible Belt. And really the values that are here, especially in the 16th district, are conservative Christian values. Now, you just think about that. I want you to look at that and just think about those values. Conservative Christian values. This is a Bible-believing, conservative Christian district. And so I would ask you to pull the Republican lever this time, because that is our values. That's where we stand. It's what made this state great. It's what's going to keep this state great. And, I'm learning all the new things. Twitter and Facebook, ask you to follow me on that. www.voteron.net. You can check me out. You can see what I believe, where I stand. If my values match up with your values, then I ask for your vote. Thank you.
Boy, and I guess that list leaves us right about time to head on home to the next segment, which will be our local races. We've had a great discussion. Fellas, any last words real quick? We've got about a couple of minutes. What do you think about the candidates?
I think we've got a wonderful selection of candidates here, and for the voters to go to the polls and pull a Republican ballot and select one of those candidates is going to be an opportunity of a lifetime.
All right. Wayne?
Thank you, Michelle. The candidates that we saw this evening represented for our state Senate seat, Janice and Eric, Rod, and Ron, are all three, or four, including the lady, I'm sorry, Janice. But the three men and the lady that are represented here represent good core Christian values. They're very knowledgeable, and they all have various avenues that they would like to serve us. And the thing I would like to say, please go and vote. Vote your choice, because my motto is, your vote is your voice. And these people that are represented here this evening will be your voice. Thank you very much.
I can't say it any better. Fellas, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Please pull the Republican primary ballot for the state and federal elections this coming August the 2nd, or during early voting until the 28th. We look forward to always be informative and educational on right of center topics. We're going to lead you into commercial. Stay tuned.
Hi, and welcome back to the Right of Center Show. We're going to move on to our second part of the evening. We're going to move on with some of our local candidates here. We've got two folks competing for the Grundy County Commission, and we got Michelle Russell running for property assessor. My name is Derek Wagner. I'm also a candidate for the House District 43. I've got with me Maria.
I'm Maria Stiefel, lifelong resident of Grundy County, mother of two, wife and mother, and just concerned for the citizens of Grundy County.
So, Chuck.
My name is Chuck Clabbers, and I am also a resident of Grundy County, and I am very concerned with the direction this county is going, and would like to hear what the future is going to bring.
Derek, I'll be your moderator. We're going to move right into the candidates. We're looking forward to hearing what they have to say and what difference they can offer us as a choice. We're going to open up with Maria.
I'd just like for each of you to introduce yourselves to your audience, starting with you, Michelle.
Hello, everyone. My name is Iva Michelle Russell. I had wanted to wear my hat today because I think that's how everybody knows me, but it just didn't go with the outfit, so I didn't think I'd pull that one off very well. But anyway, my name is Iva Michelle Russell. I'm running for Grundy County Property Assessor. I live in Mont Eagle. I'm a 2004 graduate of Leadership Grundy, and I'm also a co-founder of the Key Club in the high school. So there's a few things that I do in my extracurricular life, including politics. It's one of my hobbies and passions. But I am running for, once again, property assessor. I would love to have your vote. I'd love to have your prayers. And let's make some good decisions. Thank you.
Ted?
My name is Ted Smith. I am a resident of Grundy County, and I am running for County Commissioner, 3rd District. That's Tracy and Mont Eagle. Would appreciate your vote.
Wayne?
Good evening, everyone. I am Wayne Harris, candidate for the 1st District of County Commission, Grundy County. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself and my history. I was actually born in Wichita Falls, Texas, to an Air Force father. My father was a lifelong military member, and I didn't have any choice where I was born, but enjoyed all 20 years that we traveled with my father. We lived in states up and down the East Coast, Massachusetts, New Jersey, actually lived in Portugal for 3 years. Brandon, Florida was what my mother and father always called home. Therefore, when we would go home, it would be Brandon, Florida. And when you're a child, you're kind of brainwashed into, let's go home to Florida. Well, I found out I didn't want Florida to be my home when I became an adult. I had family here in Grundy County, came here numerous times on vacations, and married my wife, Patty, in 1974. And in 1978, I said, Patty, I'm moving to Tennessee. If you want to go, pack your bags. And she's still with me. Her and I have decided to make our home in Grundy County. I built our home in 1979 in the current location, which is in Altamont, the 1st District. I have watched Grundy County grow and prosper, and I've been a part of that growth. One of my goals in life was to be a businessman, a business owner, own my own business. Grundy County has been a wonderful place to have and to nurture a small business. Has it been easy? No, it has not been easy. These are the things that have taught me how to be frugal with management, something we desperately need with our county commission. And as a businessman here in the county since 1979, I feel like that I am very qualified for the position of commissioner for the 1st District. My wife and I raised a son. He went first through the 12th grade at Grundy County High School. We're very proud of him. He's now in college. Many of you out there in the audience will know his name is Douglas. We are very proud of the school system that we have here, that the teachers have been given the opportunity to teach him to go on to college. But there's still some work that the school board can do, and I want to be a part to be able to help fund the school board with the funding that we do through the county commission, and any input that I would be able to influence them for better schools, it will be done through my office holding as the 1st County Commission District. My mother and I have run a business. We farmed. My dad passed away about 12 years ago, and we ran a family farm. And actually, I've multitasked. To run a business in Grundy County, you have to have several businesses going. And this even further qualifies me to be a candidate because the county commission isn't about just one thing. It has to be about all the business of the county. And I feel like I'm very qualified through all the businesses that I have run in the past and currently run now very successfully and on a lean budget. And I am Wayne Harris, County Commission District 1st candidate. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all. Moving on to our second question. If you would, each take just briefly about 2 minutes and tell us what each of you feel the greatest issue going forward that we have facing Grundy County. Iva?
Well, mine is an administrative job. I could probably go on and on about the different issues that we're facing, and I believe the Senate candidates came up with a great deal of the pressing issues, jobs, education, that we're facing, the drug issue is rampant, but it all goes back down to the core values and how we address them. In my role as property assessor, it is an administrative role. It is basically there to run a budget, making sure that the office is run smoothly, making sure that the assessment of the properties are done. I believe we have a numerous amount of property here that we have to have a handle on. The process, once again, has to be fair. We have to run our office efficiently, making sure that everybody is doing their job, making sure that the public is getting their money's worth out of that job. It is a public office, so it's very important that that office is run for the public. And so as an administrator, I think that's just something that it can be done better. I totally do not oppose the way that my person who is running against the job, who's had it for a very long time, running for the office. I just think that there are better ways to manage an office, and there are better ways with more fiscal responsibilities. We've got something coming up, a reassessment in 2014 that will affect us greatly. Our last reassessment year was 2008. In 2008, fair market value was much higher than what we have coming up in 2014. It'll affect our revenues. And what we have to do, what the county commission will have to do with our schools and with our jail situation. So we have to keep in with the big puzzle. It's a fiscal puzzle that we're going to have to deal with. And because Grundy County is funded by these property taxes, we have to make sure, number one, that our people get a fair shot at what fair market value is. The process must be fair, must be honest. There is training processes that the state gives us if it's an elected office, so they don't let us go off the reservation too much to make sure that it's done correctly. So training is hugely important. This job also has certification levels that you can get from the state government to make you much better at the job. If you're in continuing education with anything, you are supposed to better yourself and make sure that you are doing the best job that you possibly can. So there are certification levels that if elected I would get. I would also go for the gold and go for the master designation as well if I'm allowed to serve you in the office. But my job, once again, is to run that office efficiently, making sure that when that money comes in and it's fair to all people in Grundy County, fair market value, and there's a system to that, and there is a way to do that fair and honestly. So that is my job, and then the issue facing us is money. So how are we going to fund the things that are going on right now? We've got some major issues, but I'm going to let the county commissioners talk about that because that is the issue that is facing Grundy County. And then the last issue that I feel is a public land use issue. We have a great deal of public land here in Grundy County that is controlled by the state, and I'm a personal opponent to that to some extent. I think there needs to be some local control to that public land. If we're not going to get taxes for those dollars, there needs to be an opportunity to use that land to better benefit the people of Grundy County. It needs to be a little bit more local control, and to make sure that the public of Grundy County, that our borders are secure, and making sure that our people are protected, and making sure our people get the most benefit from that public land. So those are the issues that I see: fiscal responsibility, making sure that we are tight with our budget, make sure we're tight with our money, and making sure that we make the right decisions for the future. Because if we don't make the decisions for the kids, because every decision should be about the kids, then the future will not be as bright as we can make it. So thank you very much. I appreciate your vote.
Thank you. Ted?
The major issue, as I see it, facing Grundy County is the current Grundy County government. We have a problem in that certain expenditures of money are now necessary, and the county commission can't agree. In fact, we've had more board vacancies because of the inability of the board to come to the commission to come to a decision on the jail and the public schools. And one of the reasons why is that we're so dependent upon federal and state money for running the government. We have something like $32 million flowing through the system, but only about 38% of it is local money. And when you talk about property taxes to get money, you're only talking $4 or $5 million out of that 38. Sales tax make up a smaller amount. So when you're talking about big expenditures, the problem becomes almost insurmountable to the current county commission. I think that I have acquired over the years a background which would permit me to connect the dots and help the commission through this problem that they have. My name is Ted Smith. Again, I'm running for County Commissioner of the 3rd District, and I appreciate your vote.
Thank you, Ted. Wayne?
Thank you again for the opportunity to address you on the need for Grundy County. What do I feel like the biggest need for our county is right now? I've been attending the county commission meetings for the past 2.5 years. I decided over 3 years ago to seek the office of county commissioner. Therefore, I felt like it was my responsibility as an office holder to know what's going on. Therefore, I've been just at every workshop and every meeting that I could possibly make. In the past 2 years, the biggest issue facing Grundy County right now is obviously our jail. We do have other issues that we need to address, and they are addressing: school boards, highway department budgets, sheriff's department budgets. All of these things are important issues, but the biggest issue right now is our jail facility and what are we going to do with it. My opponent made a statement in the Grundy County Herald last week that I was opposed of keeping our current facility, that I wanted to build a new jail. Well, yes, we've got to do something. Now, whether we build a complete new facility, whether we step over to a building that we have and can renovate, but the renovation of our current jail is just not feasible. Grundy County has spent over $40,000 with TWR architects to do a feasibility study. Is it feasible for us, A, to build a new jail, B, to remodel our existing facility, or C, just do nothing? And folks, there's only one answer, and we must replace the detention center that we have here in Grundy County. And it's going to be the job of the Grundy County Commission to achieve this. And we've got to quit kicking this can down the road. It's not going to heal itself. Let's take the issue, confront it, find the best answer that we possibly can, and do the right thing and be good stewards of our money. The state fire marshal has been very lenient with Grundy County. We had to close the county jail for a brief period of time just to satisfy what they needed to do. And folks, we spent $150,000 to refurbish a building that we can't use much longer, simply because the administrations in the past have looked the other way and not provided the money to keep upgrading. And it's inevitable. We are going to have to build this building. Another major issue, Derek, is going to be the school systems. The school systems have batted around different ideas in the workshops that I've attended, not only with the county commission, but with the school board too. The school board has come up with a plan that they think that they can do for around $3 million to upgrade some existing buildings and be able to continue on another path for about 10 years status quo. We've got to look further ahead than 10 years, folks. We have got to have a planning commission. We have got to see the forest for the trees. Just don't look right here at the issues that face us today, because there's going to be issues tomorrow as well. A, let's face the issues of today. B, let's look ahead and see what the issues are for tomorrow. I'm Wayne Harris, and I approve this message. Thank you.
Spoken like a true politician. Thank you, Wayne. Chuck?
I have a question for basically Ted and Wayne here. What do you see as the future for Grundy County? Where do you see Grundy County going in 10 years and 20 years down the road?
If you look at statistics, Grundy County had a net loss in population between the year 2000 and the year 2010, last survey. And if you were to talk to the statisticians, they'd say Grundy has no future. It is going to remain static. But if you look at what's happening, we are on top of one of the most wonderful mountains in the world, a place that people, when they visit it, they want to stay. We also are halfway between Chattanooga and Nashville, Murfreesboro. People are moving out in our direction. There is going to be a population growth, regardless of what the statisticians say, and we've got a plan for it. We've also got to look at bringing that population growth into the interior. We need a road from Interstate 24 at Mont Eagle going through Altamont. That would open up the entire county for development. I think there is a wonderful opportunity for this county. Land prices are relatively cheap. We're now getting retirees moving in, but I think we should plan for workers and their families. All in all, if we do things right, Chattanooga can be a real growth place where your children can grow up, go to school, and find work rather than moving out. I can talk on other issues, but I think this is the most important issue facing Grundy County. We've got a plan for the growth.
You're good. Wayne, if you would.
Thank you, Derek. Again, growth in Grundy County is inevitable. It's coming. We need to be prepared for it. As a business owner of a small business that does tourism, I see people coming here from all over the United States, and they just marvel at the beauty of Grundy County. And I agree with Ted. We've got to get these people in and out of here with good roads, good infrastructure. I've been very blessed to be a licensed electrician and worked with Sequatchie Valley for over 20, 25 years, building lines into new properties. Our infrastructure with electric is wonderful up here on the mountain. A lot of the new things that are going in are underground. This needs to be part of the planning, the overall planning for the future of Grundy County. And I want to give a hats off to Big Creek Utility District on the north end of the county. And I know that Mont Eagle and Tracy have upgraded their water districts. We have good water here. As a young man, I remember when Hallis Northcutt, Wade Bolden, and Otto Christian were the first members of Big Creek Utility District. And they had this wonderful plan of foreseeing into the future. And I wish those three gentlemen were here today to be able to see what seed was planted by putting city water across the top of this mountain. We need people with vision in the future to welcome the people that come in here, offer them good land prices, beautiful scenery, beautiful views, and not only that, a wonderful place to live. We have some of the best people that I have ever been associated with. My home is here in Grundy County, and I've lived in a lot of places, and it's just a great place. And I think we really, if we capitalize on our tourism that is available to us, the tourism is going to lead to people telling other people they're going to come up here and look around, and they're going to move here. And I think this is the future of Grundy County. When people come in, they bring their families. Yes, we've got a plan for schools being increased, but they also bring in money that they deposit in our banks. And it makes our county stronger. They build more houses. We get more taxes from the property when these people come in and build houses. And without these people coming in, we're going to stay at a level or drop down. But I don't believe that that's going to happen with Grundy County. So let's all work together and pull together and work for the future for a strong and healthy atmosphere, government-wise, in Grundy County. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. We're growing a little close on time, folks. As we move on, I'm going to toss you all a little softball question. It should be easy for all of you to answer, but if you would, each of you take about a minute, minute and a half, and just tell us why each of you are running as a Republican. Iva?
I guess that's my turn.
That's your
Ladies
turn.
first.
Ladies first.
You guys get the fun questions, you know. I want to go all fun, warm and fuzzy about the future of Grundy County because, man, it's bright. We've got, the amazing, talented people. here, and I'm running as a Republican. Thank you for the softball question, because I've always been one. Back when it wasn't cool, I've always been a Republican. I was raised by a Grundy County Democrat and a Fentress County Republican, and let me tell you, I thought everybody talked politics at the dinner table, and ours got really heated. Because we have to talk about politics. Unfortunately, it's right in our face. And there is a definite divide now in our country. I'm a Ronald Reagan Republican. My very first election was Ronald Reagan. I thought all politicians and all government was about loving your wife and loving God and loving your country and kicking Libya's butt. And, I just thought that that's what it's all about. I was proud to be an American, man. That was Ronald Reagan. I don't care if he did have a movie career with a chimp, that man made me proud to be an American. I thought that's what it was all about. I was in the first campaign. I have a Reagan-Bush campaign sign from my house in college. I have a button in my portfolio that said Reagan-Bush. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And then over my career, I've learned that not all politicians are like Ronald Reagan, unfortunately, and we've evolved. All the things that Ronald Reagan believed in, smaller government, et cetera, is what I believe in, and somehow this country has gone into government is the answer, or we are the answer. And I've always believed it's us. It's we are the answer. I'm the answer. You're the answer. Government has no clue what the answer is. They have no idea. So there is a big difference what a Democrat and a Republican is in this country, and definitely in this county. This county has seen a big difference now. And my mama would be voting Republican. I guarantee it. She would never be a Grundy County Democrat right now, because she knows that a conservative value, a conservative home, and the values meet the same criteria as it's what they used to be. So that's what she believes in. I know my mama was a Grundy County Democrat. I know that she'll be voting Republican. I know she'd be proud to know that I would be running as Republican. So please pull that ballot. Want your vote. Thank you.
Ted?
Oh, this has got to be a no-brainer. If you look at who is now running the state, we have a Republican governor, we have a Republican Senate, and we have a Republican House. The Democrats are almost irrelevant as far as state government goes. Now look at who is running Grundy County. All Democrats, and they're good, honest people that have the same values that we've got, except they're getting absolutely no support for those values from the Democratic Party in the South, in the state, and particularly no support from the Democratic Party at the national level. Vote Republican. Let us break the one-party monopoly that the local Democrats have here. You'll see a big difference. We have contacts with the state that they don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for that question. As many of you may know, I'm an out-of-the-closet Republican. My father and mother were Democrats. My grandfather and grandmother were Democrats. Folks, it's not your Democrat Party anymore. I'm a deacon in the Church of Christ in Altamont, and as I look at my core values with my religion, my faith, and I look at the values that the parties have, I aligned with the Republican Party when I started asking myself questions. Why do they believe this? Why do they believe that? Why do they advertise this? Why do they advertise that? Not only that, folks, a check and balance system is always great to have in any government setting, any business setting. Competition has always been good. I've done outside sales for various companies as contractors, and I feel like that the Republican Party right now has the right candidates, not only here in Grundy County, statewide, and nationally too. Vote Republican. I'm Wayne Harris, and I approve this message.
Folks, that's going to bring us towards the end here of our Right of Center show. Appreciate all our candidates being here. Thanks to my panel here for your excellent questions. Folks, but most of all, we appreciate you being here. just ask that you take a look at each candidate on their merit, on their platform, on their policy. Pull the ballot that best reflects your core values. Remember, early voting is still going on until the 28th. Major primary is on the 2nd. Make sure you vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you.